The attic was narrow, chokingly small. Beams of rotting oak, splintered and gray, loomed inward like ribs in a corpse. Dust danced in pale shafts of moonlight, swirling silently as if performing some haunted choreography. Hidden beneath a threadbare blanket, his breath barely stirred the silence. His name was Andrew, though, in truth, it had been months since anyone had called him anything. Downstairs lived the Carsons, unaware that every step they took echoed upward into his world, a ghostly music that kept him tethered to sanity. Andrew knew them only by sound. Sarah's whisper-soft humming when she watered the plants, Matthew's heavy footsteps and sharp coughs late at night, their daughter, Emma, whose laughter was bright and innocent, slicing painfully through the thin attic floorboards. Andrew shifted silently on his makeshift mattress, carefully positioning himself to peer through the knot in the wood, his one lifeline to the life below. He'd chosen the attic in a panic, desperate and fleeing something he no longer allowed himself to remember clearly. The Carsons' home was merely supposed to be a temporary refuge. A day, maybe two. But those days multiplied into weeks, weeks into months, until Andrew found himself as permanent as the shadows he dwelled in. He adapted quietly, invisibly. It was a careful dance of survival, stealing bits of food when they were out or sleeping, filling water bottles from the kitchen sink, always returning everything exactly as he found it. He memorized the patterns, the schedule of the house like sacred scripture. One misplaced footstep, one creak, and it would all unravel. But lately, something felt different. Andrew noticed it first in Sarah Carson's voice. Her gentle, melodic humming had become strained, tense. Arguments erupted between Sarah and Matthew, muted shouts vibrating through thin walls filled with accusations he couldn't decipher clearly. He heard their children, Emma and young Lucas, cry quietly afterward, stifled sobs betraying a household fracturing beneath him. One cold evening, Andrew heard something unexpected. Sharp, frantic whispers, and a single crashing sound. Then, silence. That silence persisted long into the night, louder and more terrifying than screams. Heart racing, Andrew decided to do something he had never dared: descend from the attic to investigate. He crept quietly down the ladder, slipping into the darkened hallway. The air felt heavier, charged with something awful. He tiptoed toward the children's bedrooms, hesitating at the open doorways. Empty beds, rumpled sheets, clothes strewn hastily. Andrew's heart quickened painfully. The children were gone. At the end of the hallway, he saw the basement door ajar. From within, a faint, rhythmic thumping echoed. Swallowing fear, he descended slowly, guided by weak, trembling legs. At the foot of the stairs, Andrew pulled the light string, illuminating the horror beneath. Matthew Carson sat, bound and gagged, blood dried across his forehead, eyes pleading desperately for help. Around Matthew were scattered children's toys, Emma's stuffed bear stained crimson, Lucas's favorite blanket torn violently. Andrew rushed forward to remove Matthew's gag. "Please," Matthew whispered hoarsely. "She took the kids. Sarah, she's lost it." "What happened?" Andrew asked, hands trembling as he struggled with Matthew's bonds. Matthew's voice trembled, raw and anguished. "She's been paranoid for months. Said someone was in the house, someone watching us. I didn't believe her. I thought it was stress, but she was right. She knew all along someone was hiding upstairs. She found your footprints in dust, food missing, heard you move at night. She blamed me for not believing her, accused me of conspiring against her, said I was hiding you from her. She thinks I was going to leave with the kids." "Where did she take them?" Matthew's eyes glistened with tears. "I don't know. She said they needed protection from both of us, especially from whoever was hiding here. She tied me here to punish me, to force me to confess, but there was nothing to confess." The basement door suddenly slammed shut. Footsteps descended with slow, methodical precision. Sarah Carson appeared, her expression wild, yet eerily calm. Her gaze fixed on Andrew with dangerous satisfaction. "You finally decided to come out," she whispered, lips curving into a cruel smile. "Did you enjoy watching us suffer?" Andrew stepped back, pulse frantic. "Where are your children, Sarah?" She laughed bitterly, eyes glinting with madness. "Safe from you and from him." She spat, gesturing contemptuously at Matthew. "He let you stay hidden, let you invade our home. I've watched your shadow slipping through my hallways, stealing my food. I warned Matthew, begged him to believe me, but he laughed. He said I was paranoid, that no one was here, but I knew better. So I made a decision." "Where are Emma and Lucas?" Matthew pleaded desperately, voice breaking. Sarah's eyes flickered briefly with regret. "I took them to my sister's cabin. They'll stay hidden until I'm sure the threat is gone, until both of you are gone." Andrew's throat tightened. "I never hurt anyone. I was desperate, scared." "You invaded our lives." Sarah's voice cracked sharply, shaking with emotion. "You took my sanity piece by piece, drove me mad, wondering who you were when you'd strike. Now it ends." She revealed a knife, its silver edge shimmering cruelly in the dim light. Panic surged through Andrew. Sarah lunged forward with unexpected speed, knife slicing the air toward his chest. Instinctively, Andrew dodged, stumbling against a nearby table. Matthew shouted helplessly, bound and thrashing. Sarah advanced again, her eyes feral with rage. Andrew grabbed desperately at her wrist, wrestling against the blade. They collided violently, the knife dropping onto the cold basement floor with a metallic clang. They scrambled frantically for it, each grappling desperately. Andrew felt the blade first, icy against his palm. Sarah tackled him fiercely, screaming with fury, forcing the blade upward toward his throat. Adrenaline exploded in Andrew's veins. With one desperate shove, he threw her backward, the knife twisting sharply between them. Sarah gasped sharply, eyes wide with shock. Blood seeped rapidly, darkening her shirt as she crumpled to the ground. The basement fell silent again. Oppressive silence filled with gasping breaths and disbelief. Sarah lay still, eyes staring upward in lifeless accusation. Andrew stumbled back, horror gripping his chest, breath ragged. Quickly regaining his senses, he freed Matthew fully, who fell forward, sobbing. "You have to go. Get out before anyone else comes." Andrew hesitated, glancing at Sarah's lifeless body. "The children? I'll find them," Matthew promised hoarsely. "Just go." Andrew didn't look back as he fled the basement through the silent house. Escaping into the cold night air, his heartbeat thundered violently, the attic shadows still clinging desperately to him. Long after leaving the Carson house behind, Andrew's mind remained trapped there, haunted by Sarah's paranoia, the children's cries, and Matthew's anguished guilt. He understood finally that in those months hiding above, invisible yet ever present, he'd been the true phantom tearing their lives apart from within. Sarah's voice echoed in his mind, a haunting whisper he'd never escape. "Did you enjoy watching us suffer?" In truth, Andrew realized bitterly, the only ghost left to haunt him now was himself.